That's supposed to be me. Looks just like me.
I haven't gotten around to photoshopping it in.
When you do get around to photoshopping it, change this to need, not want. Want is not strong enough. The club needs you. The club has been there for you, gosh darn it. Okay. So here's our board positions. Duty of all board members: attend monthly meetings. The board meeting before Cranbrook. There's no board meeting before the Macomb. Be available electronically is also a good one. A lot of the things that we do through emails. Respond to those said issues. Submit a monthly report. All the officers submit something in writing about what they did over the past month, and then we present that here that you just saw. Seek out new board members and volunteers. It's one of the hardest parts of the job. And then try to help out whenever is needed. This is something I think that the W.A.S board does the best. We might not do our jobs very well, but gosh darn it, we help each other. And really, that's what makes it possible. That and Jonathan doing 8 jobs. So, duties of the president, I run the meetings, just kind of MC everything, make sure that everything is going smooth, draw up agendas, things that we're trying to get done, things that that people bring me suggestions, I bring that to the board, and then we talk about it. Resolve conflicts. Sometimes, honestly, there's one conflict a year. I mean, it's not a very polarized group of people. We all kind of like the same things. Write a monthly W.A.S column. That can be difficult. I have to just like make up things that happen in my life.
Fake news.
Exactly. Oh man, the amazing things I did today. Renew, no collusion. Renew our state corporation. This is just kind of stuff that gets done at the beginning of the year. And make sure everything that gets done. Or leave for the next president. Duties of the first VP, which Jonathan is currently doing: solicit speakers, introduce speakers, plan special presentations, make sure that the presentation gets advertised, coordinate with presentation venues and other groups, making sure that someone that's coming here to present that needs a certain type of adapter or audio quality, that we either let them know that it's not possible or that we can get it done for them. And then fill in for me. If I am unavailable, then Jonathan takes over. Duties of the second VP, arguably the most fun job. Schedule and publicize open house events and other events at Stargate, which in the summertime is great. In the wintertime, maybe not so much. Especially when you have to host the observatory events and you're sitting in that observatory when it's -12 and you're just waiting. And as soon as you start closing up the door, someone walks in and says, "What are we looking at?" It's happened to me. But honestly, a lot of fun. Make sure Stargate and its major telescopes stay healthy and operational. This is kind of the big one. Just make sure it doesn't get stolen, and you're a pretty good second VP, if I'm honest. Find and train Stargate volunteers. This is probably the hardest part of the job. Finding people that are willing and want to learn how to run the scope so that you have backups in place. Over the last couple of years, we've lost some backups, and so it's getting down. So if you're interested, that big telescope in the observatory is yours to use if you're willing to learn how to use it. So talk to our second VP, and he will get you up to speed on how to run that wonderful telescope. And then finally, fill in for the first VP if me and Jonathan both decide to drain the bank account and move to Florida, then Dave will take over. Duties of the secretary: take meeting minutes, send them to the board for approval and into the W.A.S. Notify members of meetings. This is our email blast, but honestly, the whole board kind of helps out with sending out emails. Keep and maintain the W.A.S archives, which I believe Jonathan has in his basement. And write the beg letters for banquet donation. This is the big job for the secretary. Sending out beg letters, all the great door prizes we have at the banquet is basically supplied by generous agencies, but that were reached out to by our secretary. Duties of the treasurer: keep the membership roster, send welcome and renewal letters, keep the W.A.S ledger, also I guess the GLAC ledger as well in years past, collect and deposit dues and other payments, write checks as directed by the board. We just recently acquired a solar telescope, so look forward to looking through that. And then run the W.A.S PayPal account. It's fun, right, Mark?
WAS.
See? I told you. I think I'm lying. Oh, there's more. Submit a monthly treasury report. All the officers do that. And then file our e-file tax return. Super easy. It's one and done. And I'm actually not joking. It's rather easy. We don't have complicated tax returns. Duties of the outreach director: plan major public events, solicit volunteers for said events. Easy, right? I believe I've heard the term herding cats. Sure. Communicate with park system, educational groups, and other astronomy clubs. Now, Bob loves what he does. He can't help but be a great outreach chair. It is a job that is pretty darn rewarding when you have kids that come up to you and want to go into science, and you're spurring them along. A pretty cool position to take. Publications: edit and publish the monthly newsletter and other publications, and then write and solicit articles for those publications. We kind of have a team effort right now, and this is another thing that you can make your own. You don't have to make the W.A.S what it was in the past or what it is right now. If you have a vision for it that's slightly different, become the publications director and make it happen. If you think the W.A.S is too bloated, cut it down. If it's not big enough, build it up. All right, so non-board positions. So if you're not willing to take on a board position, but you feel like you'd still like to help us out, these would be very helpful. GLAC delegate: help plan and execute astronomy at the beach. GLAC needs all the help they can get. We pulled it off yet another year, but they're going to need to do all that again for 2020. Work with the board to make decisions about W.A.S responsibilities for astronomy at the beach. Work with the outreach director to find volunteers. Set up tables. Make sure W.A.S members have their questions answered and concerns addressed. Duties of the Astronomical League coordinator: Jonathan promotes Astronomical League at every meeting. Work with the treasurer to collect those membership dues. So he collects it on behalf of the treasurer, gives to the treasurer, and then sends it out to Astronomical League. Review observing program submissions. We only get a few a year. It'd be cool if we could work together to do more observing programs for Astronomical League.
We really get a few years per submission.
I was trying to be on the favorable side of that ratio, but okay. Notify W.A.S members about relevant Astronomical League activities. That's also partly done by the quarterly newsletter you get from Astronomical League by joining. It's pretty good. It's $8.50 for 4 magazines. It's pretty good, and all the other stuff that comes along with that.
$7.50.
$7.50 went down. Back in my day. Social media director. This is a rough one. Maintain an appropriate and focused W.A.S social media presence on Facebook, Twitter, etc. Not an easy task. Answer questions from the general public, usually an easier thing to do. Promoting W.A.S events and activities. A lot of times we just, the MailChimp program we use to send out notifications, so you can just double up with both Facebook and Twitter and that, and it'll send out something automatically. And then moderate email discussion groups and the Facebook group. I don't even think those are things anymore, but you can certainly take those on and try to get them back to their prime. Presentation videographer. This is another Jonathan hat. You'll see our camera set up almost every meeting. Record presentations if the presenter has given you consent to do so, and then we like to publish those on our YouTube channel. But you need to charge and maintain that video camera, small editing if needed, and then uploading to the channel. Webmaster, improve club website. This is probably Jonathan's least favorite
Nobody's doing
thing.
that right now.
I like our website. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but
It's wonderful.
it is. Well,
You know how
of course,
guilty Bob feels about this?
of course, Gary Ross would say that. I mean,
It's wonderful.
work with social media director and the W.A.S. better to make their works available. And then finally, or maybe not finally, merchandise director, take care of W.A.S. merchandise and try to get rid of it. And then if you think,
We need
hey,
standards.
we need new shirts, we need socks. Socks are all the rage with hipsters right now. We need some W.A.S. socks. Become the merchandise director, you know, make a proposal, bring it to the board, we'll approve it, we'll make your socks, and then you try to sell them. I think it's a great idea. Discussion group coordinator. This is the person who's responsible for making sure that we have discussion groups filled throughout the year, so soliciting volunteers to host those events, reminding volunteers when their turn comes around, and making sure that it gets announced is kind of everyone's job. I should be announcing as president, it should be in the W.A.S. for publication, emailing it out. I mean, this is, again, every position is kind of helping everyone else make sure that everything gets done.
By the way, it's Gary Ross's house on Devil's Night.
I was supposed to mention that, yes.
Yes.
The 30th, it's a Wednesday, 7 o'clock, Royal Oak, details in the W.A.S. If you have any questions,
No,
see.
details are not in the WASP, it's open bar. Open bar! Are you having problems with my accent?
All right, I'll be there, jeez. Calendar coordinator. So this we're trying to kind of convert into a committee, but if only one person steps up, all right, I'm running out of time. Calendar, you put the photos together, come on now. Picnic, this is the board, food, drink, all that kind of good stuff. Banquet, again, similar things, but the board is going to be doing a lot of that kind of stuff. All right, I'm going to skip the rest of this. Good?
Okay,
Okay.
you'll never know what the frequently asked questions are.
Any questions? We can see if they're on here.
Did I see a hand?
Marty?
Subgroup
Yes.
leaders,
Yes.
be under that committees that.
Well, those don't so much keep the club running, so.
Yeah, nothing on special interest groups. But if you feel like there's a special interest that we're not covering, let us know. We can always make another one. Okay, I'm going to have Jonathan introduce our short